Hello students, in the previous video we solved exercise 6.3 question number 1. Today we are going to solve the remaining questions. So let us solve it. Exercise 6.3 question number 2. Fill in the blanks with greater, less than or equal to sign. Students, in this question, we have to place appropriate sign, that is greater, less than or equal to sign. But we may or may not get the direct answer. So, we need to do calculation of the given sums and find out the correct answer. Students, after finding the answer, we have to place appropriate sign. So now, let us solve question number 2. Sum A -3 plus -6 dash -3 minus 6. Students, let us find out the answers of both the sums, that is -3 plus -6 and -3 minus 6. Let's first find out the sum of -3 plus -6. Students, -3 plus -6 shows addition of two integers, as after -3 plus sign, that is addition sign, is given to us. Students, we know that when we want to add two integers and the integers have common sign, then we have to add as a whole number by ignoring the sign, and we have to place common sign before the answer we obtain. So let us add 3 and 6 as a whole number and place appropriate sign to the answer we obtain. Thus, adding 3 and 6 as a whole number, as both the integers have common sign, we get 9, and placing minus sign to 9 as common sign is minus, we get -9. Now let us solve sum -3 minus 6. Students, this sum shows subtraction of integers, as after the given integer -3, subtraction sign is given. So, let us find out the answer of this sum. Students, as we know that subtraction is nothing, addition of additive inverse. In subtraction of integers, we have to find out the additive inverse of the integer that is to be subtracted. So, in this sum, we have to subtract -6. So, we have to find out additive inverse of -6. Students, we know that additive inverse of -6 is 6. So, now let us solve this sum. First of all, converting subtraction sign into addition sign and keeping the first integer -3 as it is and writing the additive inverse of -6, which is 6. We get -3 plus 6. Now, let us subtract 3 from 6 as a whole number, as both the integers -3 and 6 have opposite sign. Thus, subtracting 3 from 6 as a whole number, we get 3. Students, we get the answer in positive, as positive integer 6 is greater than negative integer minus 3. Students, now we have to compare minus 9 with 3. Students, we know that minus 9 is a negative integer, and negative integer is always smaller than the positive integer. Thus, minus 9 is less than 3. So, we can say that minus 3 plus minus 6 less than minus 3 minus 6. Now, sum C. 45 minus 11 dash 57 plus minus 4. Students, let us solve sum C and find out the answers of both the given sums, 45 minus 11 as well as 57 plus minus 4. Students, let us first find out the answer of 45 minus 11. Students, this sum is based on subtraction of integer. As we know that after the given positive integer 45, subtraction sign is given. Students, we know that in subtraction of integers, we have to find out the additive inverse of integer which is to be subtracted. Thus, we have to find out the additive inverse of minus 11. As we know that minus 11 is to be subtracted from 45. We also know that the additive inverse of minus 11 is 11. So, let us first of all write the additive inverse of minus 11. Thus, writing additive inverse of minus 11, we get 11. Students, now let us write the first integer 45 as it is and convert subtraction sign which is given after 45 into addition sign and write the additive inverse of minus 11 which is 11. Thus writing the first integer 45 as it is, converting subtraction sign into addition sign and writing the additive inverse of minus 11. We get 45 plus 11. Students, now we have to add both the integers as we know that both the integers 45 and 11 are positive. Thus, adding 45 and 11, we get 56. Students, we get the answer 56 in positive as both the integers 45 and 11 are positive integers. Thus, 45 minus 11 is 56. Students, now let us solve 57 plus minus 4. Students, this sum is based on addition of integers as after the given integer 57 addition sign is given. Students, we know that in addition of integers we don't have to find out the additive inverse of any given integers. Students, in this sum, we have to subtract as we know that both the given integers have different sign where 57 is positive integer and minus 4 is a negative integer. Thus, subtracting 4 from 57 as a whole number by ignoring the sign, we get 53. Students, we get the answer in positive as we know that positive integer 57 is greater than negative integer minus 4. Thus, 57 plus minus 4 is 53. Students, now we come to know that we have to compare the answers of 45 minus 11 and 57 plus minus 4. Thus, comparing 56 with 53, we can say that 45 minus 11 is greater than 57 plus minus 4. Thus, 45 minus 11 is greater than 57 plus minus 4. Question number 4. Find sum A minus 7 minus 8 minus 25. Students, in this sum, there are 3 integers. They are minus 7, which is negative integer, 8, which is positive integer, and minus 25, which is negative integer. Students, as after minus 7, subtraction sign is given, and also after 8, subtraction sign is given. So, this sum is based on subtraction of integers. Students, we have to find out the additive inverse of both positive integer 8 and also negative integer minus 25, which are to be subtracted from minus 7, and we have to convert each subtraction sign into addition sign. Students, note that the first integer, either positive or negative, remain as it is. That is, we don't have to find out the additive inverse of first integer, which is given on left hand side. So now, let us solve sum A. First of all, writing the additive inverse of 8 and minus 25. Thus, writing the additive inverse of 8, we get minus 8. And writing the additive inverse of minus 25, we get 25. Now, let us write minus 7 as it is and convert the subtraction sign into addition sign, and also write the additive inverse of 8, which is minus 8, and additive inverse of minus 25, which is 25. Thus, writing minus 7 as it is, converting the subtraction sign which are given after minus 7 and 8 into the addition sign, and writing additive inverse of 8 and minus 25, we get minus 7 plus minus 8 plus 25. Students, now let us make a pair of minus 7 and minus 8. Students, as we know that there are three integers, so we will get only one pair and one integer will remain unpaired. Thus regrouping minus 7 plus minus 8 and writing 25 as it is, we get minus 7 plus minus 8 plus 25. Students, now let us add minus 7 and minus 8 as both the integers have minus sign, and place minus sign before the answer obtained and keep 25 as it is, thus adding 7 and 8 as a whole number by ignoring minus sign and placing minus sign before the answer. As both the integers have minus sign, we get minus 15 plus 25. Students, now let us subtract the integer as one integer is positive and one integer is negative. Thus, subtracting 15 from 25 as a whole number by ignoring the minus sign, we get 10. Students, we get the answer in positive, as positive integer 25 is greater than negative integer 15. Thus, minus 7 minus 8 minus 25 is 10. Now sum B, minus 13 plus 32 minus 8 minus 1. Students, in this sum there are two signs, addition sign as well as subtraction sign after the given integers. Students, so you have to be careful in writing or taking the additive inverse of the given integers. Students, we know that in order to add two integers, we don't have to write the additive inverse. We have to write the additive inverse for only subtraction of integers. So, in this sum, we don't have to write the additive inverse of 32, as after the given integer minus 13 plus sign is there. Students, note that we have to find out the additive inverse of the integers 8 and 1, as after positive integer 32 subtraction sign is given, and also after 8 which is positive integer subtraction sign is given. Thus, there are two subtraction sign and one addition sign after the given integers. So, we don't have to find out additive inverse of 32, as after minus 13 addition sign is given. But we have to find out the additive inverse of 8, as after 32 subtraction sign is given. Also, we have to find out additive inverse of 1, which is positive integer, as after 8 again subtraction sign is given. So now let us solve sum B. First of all, writing the additive inverse of 8. Thus, writing the additive inverse of 8, we get minus 8 and also writing the additive inverse of 1, we get minus 1. Now writing minus 13 and 32 as it is, converting the subtraction sign into the addition sign and writing the additive inverse of 8 and 1, we get minus 13 plus 32 plus minus 8 plus minus 1. Students, now let us regroup the integers and write in each group or pair two integers. Thus, regrouping the integers, we get minus 13 plus minus 1 plus 32 plus minus 8. Now let us add 13 and 1 as a whole number, as both the integers minus 13 and minus 1 are negative integers, and also subtract 8 from 32 as one integer, that is 32 is positive and one integer, that is minus 8 is negative. Thus, adding 13 and 1 as a whole number by ignoring the minus sign, we get 14 and placing minus sign before the answer 14, we get minus 14. Also, subtracting 8 from 32 as a whole number, we get 24. Students, we get the answer 24 in positive, as positive integer 32 is greater than negative integer 8. Students, now we have to subtract, as we know that minus 14 and 24 has opposite sign. Thus, subtracting 14 from 24 as a whole number by ignoring the sign, we get 10. Students, we get the answer in positive, as positive integer 24 is greater than negative integer 14. Thus, minus 13 plus 32 minus 8 minus 1 is equals to 10. Students, solve question number 2, sum B and D, question number 3, fill in the blanks, and question number 4, sum C and D by yourself. Thank you and have a nice day.